Learning about the gunman.
Well, we know that he lived nearby to the Borderline Bar and Grill in the Newbury Park area. That's just a couple of miles from where we're standing right now. The Borderline Bar and Grill, by the way, is over my shoulder behind us, a couple of hundred yards there, still surrounded by and inundated with, as you can imagine, law enforcement officials. Now, over at Ian Long, the gunman's house, law enforcement are there right now. They're getting a search warrant. They obviously want to go through everything in that house. We have a live picture right now outside the home where Ian Long lived. They will want to go, of course, through all his computers, any notes that they may find there, anything that may give them a clue to motive, because that is what they do not have at this point. They have an ID. They do not have a motive. We do know, as you say, that he served in the U.S. Marine Corps. We have seen some pictures which appear to show him deployed. We are waiting, though, to get his official records from the Pentagon. We do know as well that he was on law enforcement's radar for minor things. He was the victim of a battery at one point at a different bar. And just this past April, police were called to his home for what the sheriff described as a disturbance. Listen here to the sheriff describe that day.
We've had several contacts with Mr. Long over the years, minor events such as a traffic collision. He was a victim of a battery at a local bar in 2015. In April of this year, deputies were called to his house for a subject disturbing. They went to the house, they talked to him. He was somewhat irate, acting a little irrationally.
And it's such a tragedy. And so, you know, the one incident.
Now, the sheriff said there were some questions at that point as to whether Ian Long suffered from PTSD as a result of his time in the Marine Corps, but nothing definitive on that at this point, Sandra and Bill.
And Jonathan, the bar was packed with young students when the shooting began. The sheriff earlier couldn't confirm exactly how many were in there, but this was a young crowd.
Yeah, very young crowd. It's actually always on Wednesday nights is college night at the Borderline Bar and Grill. There are several colleges in this area, and as we understand it from eyewitnesses, there was something like a couple of hundred in the Borderline Bar and Grill at the time when the shooter came in. He apparently took out, according to one of the witnesses we spoke to first, one of the security guards at the front door, and then the witness that I talked to this morning, John Hedge, said he just walked in throwing smoke grenades and then just firing randomly. It was, according to John Hedge, it didn't appear to be targeted shooting. He was just shooting anybody that he could find within his range. He was using a Glock 21 45 caliber with an extended magazine, apparently. Now, the gun was legally bought here, but that extended magazine would be illegal. Listen now to that eyewitness, John Hedge, about how he got out. Listen here.
I was going to go run to the bathroom to go hide, and I saw that he had left the front door area, and there was maybe one or two couple people that ran out. So I just ran as fast as I could to the front door, and you know, thank God I made it out okay.
Something to say or want to say something about it?
John Hedge, one of the lucky ones, 12 people killed, among them, of course, the sheriff's sergeant who was the first law enforcement official in there, Sergeant Ron Heelis. Sandra and Bill.
Jonathan Hunt, thank you.
From one breaking news story.